Well, you can hear all the noise there as the instructions came up on screen, and we're away cleanly in across both of these categories, the under 17 and under 19 sprint relays. We'll wait to see if they're taking a similar approach here, with about 250 metres being rowed by each athlete. Powerful strokes there from the under 17 women from Ukraine. Brilliant stuff and great technique being displayed. And look at that, those feet straps being held to an absolute T, Neve. I think this is a good technique moving forward.
Absolutely, there's going to be lots of crews now, or teams, looking at this today, and no doubt we'll see it more so. It's probably too late for crews to adopt it now today, but we'll see it no doubt in future competitions. Really great to see different techniques though being used. But yes, yesterday in the continental knockout heats, that crew from Ukraine that we saw, they're leading out this under 17 women's relay. They had 50 seconds of a lead across the rest of the teams. Second place yesterday was the People's Republic of China, New Rowing, W1. They were 7:42.7. Ukraine were 6:53.6. So we do know that this crew from Ukraine are very, very strong, and they're showing it here now. Average split at the moment 1:36. They've already made a couple of transitions. They're coming up towards that 1500 meter mark. Then New Rowing, W1, then from People's Republic of China, they're 45 meters behind now, sitting in second position. And the two of these now have a massive lead across the rest of the field. In the under 19 category, then it is Best Girls, also Ukraine. Nice lead now, over 30 meters of a lead ahead of New Rowing W4 from People's Republic of China. Camilla, it's like we're there with them in the clubs. It's so good that we can actually hear the atmosphere, the support that's coming from their team members and coaches.
Yeah, and it's clearly working for them, especially the guys from Ukraine that you can see here, both of those screens in the centre and left-hand side of your picture. Both teams, the under-19s and under-17s, in that same gym together, and they're clearly being spurred on to really grab the bull by the horns and lead out these categories as a collective. Now, it's, I think, still in the balance, in the, you know, for these races, 30, 70 metres, whatever it may be, one sort of non-slick transition, one error, one mistake can allow the other team to creep back in, Neve, so they can't let up, they can't let that concentration slip, because, you know, again, I think that the way that New Rowing are approaching this, they're down at a slightly slower stroke rating, but it just gives them that little bit more time to think about the transitions and get them, you know, nice and comfortable and clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even having that big lead, it doesn't guarantee you anything, because as you said, you know, they have each other lined up in a certain order as to who will come next, and if one person getting on falls off, it's not as if I don't think that the next person in line would jump on. The person who fell off would try and get up and get back on, so that they can keep that order that they have practiced. So definitely it can cost you time if you don't get or nail that transition here. But we are seeing the two leaders here in the under 19 category here, the Best Girls closest to us on screen, and in the purple in the background, the crew in the under 17, Kazi Riata, both representing Ukraine now, leading out their categories here. Both up about 45, 46 strokes per minute. That's the thing with these relays, you can afford to go, you know, up into the 40s, which is very different to what we saw earlier on in the 2Ks. You know, some people down at 26, 28 strokes per minute, so very different approach here. Now, the interesting thing with the relays this time is that as long as each rower rows once, you can row as much distance as you want. So one person or three people could row one stroke each, and the fourth person could row the remainder of the 2,000 meters. It seems like nobody has taken that sort of approach. Everyone seems to be, you know, splitting it up equally. What would you do, Camilla? Would you prefer to row like 1,900 meters?
Well, do you know what? I think for me, personally, you know, I'll take a couple of strokes and I'll leave it to someone else in my current state of fitness. But look, I think that, like you say, the benefit of switching over, yes, it does lose you a little bit of time on that changeover when the handle's not moving, and when you are sort of just doing that sort of movement of jumping on and off the seat. What it does allow you to do is sprint absolutely to your max capacity at a high rate of stroke rate without that ability to tail off, right? And so those intense short bursts that you're taking in turns at 48, I've even seen 50 strokes a minute would not be possible for one person to do for 2,000 meters, that's for sure. So yeah, I think the benefit of swapping over at regular intervals far outweighs one person sort of trying to sprint hard and hang on for a sort of elongated period of time. Here are our race leaders in the under 17 women, and there they are, 52 strokes a minute. The end is in sight. This will be the last go on the rowing machine for this athlete here in the team before she hands over to their finisher, I presume, Neve, if they're doing the sort of standard transitions of 250 metres each. But no, 300 metres to go. They've put the last athlete, I think, onto the machine. We'll have to wait and see if they change again. But here in this under 17 category, it's all coming towards the end. Everyone's within the final 350 metres now.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the one benefit of being able to kind of switch around the distances is that if someone does go too hard in their 250 and their legs are screaming at them, that someone who is a little bit fresher maybe, or who just has a little bit more training, they can adapt and change strategies in the middle of the race. That's why it would be important, I would say, to have a coach with you. So if someone, if the split is going higher and higher and higher, that the coach can say, okay, you're off, next person's in, rather than sticking to the standard kind of 250 or 500 that people are doing. But yes, coming into the final few strokes now, the women's under 19 relay. It is Best Girls of Ukraine. We're seeing them on screen here now, taking the win here in this relay. And coming in the women's under 17, not too far behind them, also Ukraine in the same room. Very lucky club for sure. Hazariata of Ukraine there. Not much separating these crews, even though there's the age difference between them, but very strong performances by both crews from Ukraine. Coming in then in second position in the women's under 17, New Rowing W1, People's Republic of China, into their final 70 strokes, and New Rowing W4 in the women's under 19, also from People's Republic of China. Big celebrations happening there on screen.
Yeah, lovely to see. Best Girls living up to their name, Neve, taking home the gold there in that under 19s event by a huge margin as well. Almost a minute that they managed to be triumphant there in that category, and lovely that they can celebrate with the other team